Is that right there?
If you tell me who we're missing,
Comerch, you can see it, the Jenks group.
All right, it's live.
Smile. You're on the Google. Hello, Google. This is what happens before we start. How you doing, Tim?
Very good. How are you?
Spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pumped for this. Doing so much research on social media.
You know Xander at One Health?
I know Xander.
You should talk to him about social media, because the way that they've done it within One Health is an interesting difference from normal social media. I was talking with him the other night, and it was just interesting to hear the little methodology changes that they've done.
I haven't spoken to him in a while.
You know they got acquired, right?
I heard. You actually told me that yesterday.
Yeah, I was really impressed. It's one of the best acquisitions I've seen.
Of course, my JPEG.
Active feed from the glasses.
yeah.
I can set you up on a it doesn't be
What's happening, Glenn?
I'm not calling.
It's just I wash my hands.
I trust you.
From the YouTube to
All right.
the Google Plus page. It's hard to be faster than it is.
We'll try connecting our one.
Small room.
This is our room. It's a big room. I mean, it's all relative, right?
That's right. No, my
Bigger
wife
than
was
my
saying
bedroom.
the breakfast event was much bigger.
Yeah. We have 200 plus people,
Yeah.
300 people at a breakfast event. We like to keep the forums intimate. We cap them at 50. We kept the doors open for a little more than 50 today, given the esteemed guests.
Great.
Yeah. Hey, can you pull up that? Can either of you the JPEG that Trish sent out in a social media minute? Did you read that? She sent that out a couple days ago.
No. Totally.
Oh, you're just driving over.
Old school.
PowerPoint. They still use that, right? Look at that. Still one of the best ways to put your logo up on a wall. No lasers. What's so clear?
There it is. Of course, you open up here. You can see
What's going on?
Yeah, we can see it's all.
Yeah, all right. I'm chatty.
Listen to you for hours.
God. This is the matinee show, so it's all PG. And then we do our show for happy hour, so at 6 o'clock.
It's totally different content.
Yeah, samples of
Totally different context as well.
We've completely rewritten the show.
Hey man, how are you? Good to see you.
It's been a while.
Yeah, how you been? Chilling.
How are you?
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, that's good to see you.
So jealous. Yeah. Tell AT he's gonna like it.
I
have to present this thing.
You still need that thing?
Oh,
a sticker.
Did you get yours?
Name tag?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Is this like tag and release?
You track me.
Put like an ID in the name tag, correct? So you know where we are later.
Oh? Track and release? Yeah,
Like it's little like catch and release.
There's a chip in there. I know your heart rate. It's connected to my Apple Watch. I know your heart rate. I know your likes and dislikes. Just
I'm over here now. I'm with RMD for a little bit.
Yeah.
My wife
Love
hates
to,
this.
man. You're downtown?
That's the best part about the
I'm in the basement.
It's like a mirror. Yeah, you are.
HR director, I guess.
Kevin is never gonna look.
Oh, here we go. Come on,
I
man.
would just quit it, you know? How you doing?
Pretty good, brother. Good to see you.
Did I get in there?
Bring a little showtime
Really?
to the show.
Really?
Yeah, right? How
Really?
you out, right?
Come on.
Dude, social
You're gonna be-
media.
You're gonna be that guy?
I'm it, man. I'm first.
Have you met Kevin?
Come on, man. I'm first one in, man.
If there's anybody who's willing to be that guy,
I'm it.
Kevin, or I'm a very
Yeah,
distant second.
right. Yeah.
Very distant second.
Yeah, right. You want some technology? You want to light some shit on fire? Where do you want to go with this? Right?
I love it.
There's our delay.
Well, we thought we'd have a little fun, you know, do what we do. So we got you guys all packaged up.
Last,
We're streaming live.
Delaying it a little bit? I like
yeah,
it.
7-second delay. You never know what these guys might say.
Yeah, right.
Twitter questions coming in?
It's the FCC.
We have one of our guys running social.
Yeah.
Really?
We got 2 people running social remotely. We're going to talk about
Listen,
the whole
man.
setup and what we got going on.
Players ball, right?
This is how we
There
do
you go, right? Last,
Wow.
record a video. And
Feel like-
3, 2, you're on.
It's not gonna happen.
Matt Green. It happens whether you want it to happen or not.
This guy is
Beauty of
always
video.
on. Always on.
Always on. Always on. Unlike my internet
It's like
connection right now.
watching Terminator like 2.
Okay, Glass.
Look right into like the blood.
Share this video. Google Plus public. There you go.
How are you?
Good, wonderful.
You go.
How are you?
I don't know where you're looking.
Yeah, right. You get to see it.
Upstairs.
Hot out. Chris. I said if I got it, I got this one from my. I will do whatever. Well, let's be rebels.
Hey, how are you? Trish, how are you? Welcome. If you don't mind, I'm going to stick on the end.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Ladies.
We'll just go first.
There's some really bad coffee in the kitchen if you'd like
Oh,
to
thank you.
join us.
Yeah.
Chris and I have already done.
Yeah.
It's 1-star coffee.
Oh, it's plastic.
Absolutely.
Oh, terrible.
Oh, yeah, in a plastic kit.
How are you?
With face cream and some sugar.
Sugar
I'm
like
just gonna go to
sugar like something.
Yeah.
Woo. It's like a million degrees upstairs.
That's what it's called.
Do you use Google Voice?
Tweeting.
Yeah.
That constitutes being tweeted.
Sure. I was checking my Facebook earlier. Actually, I am.
We're gonna get a selfie of the grill behind you.
Oh, yeah. Stuff. Shameless marketing.
Shame.
I actually have a folder on my personal profile called Shameless Marketing. It is what it is.
I tried to.
It is what it is.
Pictures because they just take them at events. So I like to find a player. It's not my website. Although one thing we can say later on is like about that. That's true.
My insecurity. That's all right.
You gotta rock it.
You know, I thought you like 3 days ago. Yeah, I'm doing that.
I think I was like, same too.
I want to have some fun. I said, I would buy it, Mom, and you got the Oh, yeah. Well, I'll
The crowd. Florence are fun. I don't know their
I do a lot of these.
Yeah, so we actually set up that anywhere from 20 to 50.
I would love to hear what's going on with the whole like first and then the
Yeah. There was, yeah, there was always fun. They were trying to, they were trying people are allowed to have privacy on the internet to make it so it's kind of a federal thing because legally this person is,
Big glass. Big glass. Share it. Big glass. Yeah, I know. I was trying to get it. It's just a slow push up. So I'm taking pictures of video now. See if I can hang out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to.
I could do a one-on-one hangout with somebody, like just go to like a personal, like a Skype or something. But I haven't been able to get into a hangout yet. And when these things are on all the time, how are you?
Well, yeah, I get it right on.
Yeah, when you had that live stream thing over the time, just look
I like that. People have a good experience, but they don't get
you get a little something. Yeah.
I just did 2.5 and say,
and then I got a description on it. So like I should have got the reading glasses on the bottom. Because the settings is easy to do. But then I've got the distance part because you want to see what's going on with it. So I'm still dialed in. I got $2,000 in the whole setup. A little bit to get used to. I was running. I ran 3 on Tuesday night. 3 full games. I took them out, baby. What, 12, 10, and 15 on the I know you just don't want that. That's what it is. I showed up ready, man. I got ready on the drive home. Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Did I make it? Hey, one more. Come on, we gotta get your photo bomb. There you go. There you go. All right, that's right. Thank you for coming to Financial Planning 101. No. I will be in charge of your money.
Yeah. It's going to be a very interesting executive lunch forum today. So first of all, on behalf of everybody at 6 Degrees, thank you for coming. The topic today, of course, is social media. And I wanted to go over just a couple ground rules before we kind of get into thanking a couple of people and, of course, introducing this fantastic panel. My name is Craig Goldberg, for those of you that don't know me. The objective today is to teach and to educate. My hope is that every single one of you walk out of here with a little something that you didn't know before, or perspective on how social media continues to grow and develop as part of our personal lives, certainly our business lives, and the way that we communicate with one another on a regular basis. There's quite a bit. And I've got some stats here that Trish provided. I'm going to get into introducing our fantastic panel in just a moment. First, a couple people to thank. I would like to thank our venue partner, Comerge. We're here in their space. Give them a quick hand. Just Rob. If you're not familiar, Comerge is a shared working space. 6 Degrees used to be housed here. We've since moved on. However, they are absolutely fantastic. We come back here to host meetings and events on a regular basis. It's your office, and it's available for rent. I'd like to thank our food sponsor. Here's Robert, actually. Robert, if you have any questions about Comerge, Robert is your guy. I'd like to thank Meze Cafe. I actually had lunch there yesterday on top of the great food that they provided this morning. Had an octopus salad that was just to die for. Their food is fantastic, and there she is. Here, thank you very much, appreciate it. I'd also like to thank a couple of our event sponsors, which you'll see on a slide that comes up here: Cox Business, Sagatica, the Jenks Group, Renaissance Executive Forum, and of course Studio 116 Creative that videotapes and does our video production So we'll start seeing that stuff come up on our social media after that. With that, I'd like to introduce our panel. Who should we start with? Ladies first.
Sure.
The very fabulous Trish
Hi.
Sanderson with Yelp.
Hello.
To Chris Martin.
Hi.
Chris Martin. And of course, Kevin Popovic with Ideahaus. And why don't we get you guys talking and just give us maybe 1 minute about kind of who you are and how you relate to social.
Sure.
Trish?
Sure. Trish Sanderson. I work for Yelp as their community manager and marketing manager for San Diego. There's actually 2 of us in San Diego because it's such a large market for us. We don't do anything with sales, so there's no advertising pitch at the end of me being here. I'm purely in the community as a resource. I handle all the business owner education, all those questions you have about Yelp that are burning in your soul about our recommendation software. I'm your girl. We probably won't get into it too much today, but I'll give you my card and I'm happy to talk about as much as you want. There's a huge community of people in San Diego using the site and worldwide. We're in 29 countries. We just launched Hong Kong a couple weeks ago, 19 languages. So we're all over the place. About 10 years old now. It's our birthday. 2004 is when we launched, and I've been here for about 3 years.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kevin Popovic. I'm the founder of Ideahaus, and we help our clients figure out what to say and how to say it to their target markets. We have studios in Pittsburgh and San Diego. I've been doing this for 24 years, so I've seen a lot of media come and go, and I'm very interested in talking about social media today. And look for my new book coming soon at satellitemarketing.com.
There you go.
Thank you.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, at Satellite Marketing on Twitter.
It's 2 L's in satellite, I just found out, by the way.
I'm Chris Martin. I don't have a book yet. I have an Instagram account. That's why I'm here. I'm kidding. I've been in the hospitality business for about 13 years, running a nightlife, directing a lot of their marketing and social media. So our demographic is the millennials. So being able to communicate with them quickly, evolving with the changing technologies is something that we try to keep our finger on the pulse. So I'm excited to share what little bit I might have, give you guys some takeaways.
Excellent. So we're going to get into some questions real quick. We are surrounded by technology. You'll see on my left, we are live, not quite live. We've got a 7-second delay just in case they say something they're not supposed to say. We got a Google Hangout going on right now. So we're going to be taking questions. I've got my iPad hooked up. Kevin and Ideahaus have set up all the tech and the gear that you see, aside from 116 Creative, of course, to broadcast this live. We've got people on the outside that are monitoring questions and they'll be sending things into me. We'll see how this whole thing goes. Hopefully it's enough for me to handle, but if it's not, you guys will know. You see me fiddling around on here, it's answering what's going on.
And Kevin has his Google Glass on, so that's
The Google
fancy.
Voice. And he's got Google Glass.
Feeling pretty fancy
Feeling
today.
pretty
Thank you.
fancy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Kevin's got all the toys. So first I wanted to start with a couple stats, right? Why are we here? Social media. Trish, you sent out a JPEG to us, which an infographic, which I don't have to put up, but I wanted to pull a couple things that I thought were interesting. It was all about what happens in a minute on social media at all these various networks. And there were probably 25 or so that were on there. I'm going to highlight a couple. Pinterest pins, 3,400. Instagram posts, 216,000. Yelp user posts, 26,000. Vine shares, about 8,300. WhatsApp, 347,000 posts. Tinder swipes, for those of you on Tinder, 416,000. And the 2 monsters, obviously, Facebook user shares 2.6 million per minute. And Google, anybody know how many Google searches they have per minute?
11.
4 million a minute. Incredible. I think it's a good part for me to make a suggestion as well. This is very much a dialogue and it's a forum. The reason we like keeping this so intimate is so that you can raise your hand. We touch on something, you want more info, hopefully we have it for you, and I'll be calling on you guys as well. So if we touch on something, there's no Q&A at the end. It's right in the middle and engage in that conversation. It'll be my job to moderate it. First, I thought it would be great if we started with what type of social media are you involved in? Where do you have accounts? Where do you spend your time? Kevin will go last.
Everywhere. We have a lot of accounts. I've been involved in social media, before social media was called social media. And a lot of what our responsibility is to be a bit of a scout, to go ahead of our clients and business and colleagues and go down there and see what happens, right? Hit the little red button, connect those 2 things. So we've done that in social media and we continue to do so. There go the Google Glass today, which we're trying to figure out that next transition into wearables, right? You thought it was a challenge to go to a hands-free phone. Wait till you can go with a hands-free computer. It's an interesting transition. So my job is to help my clients figure out how to perpetuate their brand using social media. and to create engagement, because it is an investment from a business perspective. And you can't be everywhere. I've seen people that have tried to be everywhere. And any idea what happens when you try to be everywhere? You're nowhere. You're nowhere. You spread yourself way too thin. You tend to go to where the activity is, and then you have a bunch of dead, ill-attended properties that it looks like you don't know what you're doing on social media, reaching those other people. So at first it was, hey, we've got to be everywhere. And now it's choose wisely.
Obviously, I use Yelp as kind of my social media of choice. I think a lot of people think of Yelp as only a review site, but not a social media giant, which it is, purely from the posts. We're also integrated with Facebook and Twitter. So anytime someone writes a tip, shares a photo, writes a review, if they have their settings however they'd like, but it instantly shares to those other outlets. You can have friends there, you can have a full profile there, you can private message back and forth with other users, you can send compliments. We have offline meetups that are very popular and super exclusive and secret. We do a couple times a month at different local businesses where that huge community comes offline. And they also on yelp.com/events and take people that have similar interests with them offline and into real life and into your places of business. And there's constant conversations going on the website, not just someone posting an opinion. They have a huge network that they're sharing to there. I also am a huge fan of Instagram. Yelp has individual communities set up in most capital cities all over the world. And each community has its own Facebook page, its own Instagram feed, its own Twitter handle, and so on and so forth. So Yelp itself as a company links out to those things as well. Additionally, personally, LinkedIn is a blast. I couldn't live without Pinterest. Yeah, pretty much it.
Okay. For me, in our business, in the hospitality side, we spend a lot of time on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. There's so many, Vine. Now we're, applying Snapchat to our business. In the nightlife space, we don't do a lot with Yelp because we were just having an offline conversation about nightlife and Yelp and how that's, a few years ago, we just realized we'll never win that.
It's the worst weather on Yelp.
Yeah.
It's just raining in the club.
No one ever has a good experience in a nightclub and wants to talk about it in public, at least. They keep that good time to themselves.
They do. I feel like that was fun.
But for our business, Facebook and Instagram are must-haves, must-masters.
I thought it'd be interesting, just by a show of hands, how many folks are on LinkedIn? All right, how about Facebook? Facebook for business, Twitter, Pinterest, we're gonna get more random now. Google Plus, but use it. Tumblr.
I have an account.
Snapchat. Cool. And how many people are blogging? Just curious. What's the last one? Vine.
Hello.
Vine. Selling. What else you got?
Hello.
Can I ask how many people have Yelp accounts, like personal Yelp
There you
accounts
go.
on your
Yelp.
app? Who uses the app? Curious.
I certainly do. How many people write regularly on Yelp? Cool. All
Do you have a Yelp for business owner account? How many people have their business page
we
taken
do.
care of? Just a few.
See, actually, let me address that.
Yeah.
So I've never thought about having a business account
Sure.
for my business.
Yeah.
And the biggest reason is because it's more B2B, and we handle more, we're not a very local
Right.
business. We have clients all across the country. So school me on why
Sure.
I should,
Yes.
if I should.
So most people don't realize that we have two websites. So first and foremost, did you know we had two websites? Yeah. So here's the thing. We have Yelp.com and the app, which is for the user, for the consumer, for your end customer, someone who's searching to make a buying decision. I think it's like every 5 out of 6 people that come to Yelp are actually ready to spend money. They've done research on other sites. They've looked at your Facebook page. They've looked on Twitter. Now they're deciding between business A and business B, and they're going to do that based on what they see on the Yelp website. A lot of people use it as simply a search engine. The app itself is they're typing in burgers, and they're doing it geographically, like I want it now and in 5 minutes. And they're going to go this way, and they get directions, and they call the business, or they make a reservation straight from the app. In order to close that circle, so you have all these people talking about you, we have a secondary website called biz.yelp.com. It's biz.yelp.com. If your business exists on Yelp, you have the ability to claim that business page, and we have a whole suite of free tools on the back end that don't cost you a dime that you can access. And one of the biggest one is data. So we will show you how many people are looking at your Yelp page a month. There's a revenue counter in there, so you can adjust the revenue counter to your average customer ticket or your average client ticket, and we'll tell you how many people, based on if they called your business or wrote a review or some sort of activity with your business, what revenue you might be getting from the site. Set it up for 24 months, for a year, pie charts. I mean, the whole 9 yards of things you can do. And the big thing is you can respond to customers who talk about you on Yelp. You can send them personal messages. You can post to them publicly. You can research. There's actually a ticker on the bottom now that you can pull demographics from. So like if I went to your business and checked in, my personal Yelp page is set to be very transparent. You would literally see Trish S, linked to my profile, checked into your business. She's 32. She lives in Del Mar. Like it would tell you exactly who's hanging out with you. If they're being a little bit more private, it'll be like a man in his 20s checked into your business. You can actually pull and see.
Guy walks into a bar.
Guy walks into a bar. Yeah.
Their aggregate review as well.
Correct. Yeah, so everything is on there. So everything that's happening on the front end side of your page is quantified for you in really easy wave formats. You can also pull, like we write code for you on the back end. So if you want to put find us on Yelp, if you're trying to get more reviews or you want people to know you're on the site, we wrote the code for you. It's on the back end, copy paste. So the benefit for claiming your business page is you can't control the reviews about you, but you can control your content. We give you 3,000 characters to talk about yourself on Yelp in the About This Business section. You can change your hours. You can make sure you're open at the right time. And of course, the biggest thing in social media right now, pictures. You can add as many as you want. We don't stop you from going hundreds and hundreds.
Like as many as I want?
As many as you want.
I have a lot.
As many as you want.
Pictures right now.
Yeah, as many as you want. Gentlemen in the back.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
I was much like Kevin, thinking, why the hell would I need this
for
my business? Because we're in a very similar business. However, I was surprised to find out how many people actually do look at Yelp reviews. Even when they're Fortune 500 companies, I don't understand that, but it happens. So, but the real question I have for you is, I just looked to make sure my page is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 3 reviews, but 20 that are actual reviews that are good reviews.
Yeah.
And I find that complaint with a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
The algorithm is so terrible with Yelp to understand actual versus
Sure. So I'll give you my synopsis of the recommendation software, because in the Yelp business that I do spend 45 minutes on this topic and we pull up statistics and all that stuff, but I'll give you the basic truths. On Yelp, we have that software in there because back in the day, Taco Shop number 1, Taco Shop number 2, they would make fake accounts and write bad reviews about each other, or go in and change his business to closed in the system. We had to put something in place to regulate what was happening on the site. As the site has grown and emerged, we have this amazing community of people that are helping. We don't recommend reviews from people we don't know much about. So a lot of times with businesses where you're having a one-off instance with your clientele, like a realtor, or maybe a surgeon, where that person goes on, they write 1 Yelp review and they never log on to our site again, we may or may not determine that that's something we're going to recommend and stand behind as a company and recommend to the community. We're really trying to we're different from quantity likes like Facebook. We're really trying to develop a group of in-the-know locals. Another reason it could be filtered is because we do track IP addresses. So if you're a business owner and you're using your personal computer to have your clients write your reviews on, that to us looks a little suspicious. We also take advantage of making sure that it's not maybe something that's out of the norm. So all of a sudden one day you get 25-star reviews and you're actually normally getting maybe 1 or 2 a month. That again seems abnormal to us. Something to mention, that the algorithm runs every day. So if that reviewer becomes a Yelper, as we would say, or they become a more active user, or the algorithm determines and picks up information that says, you know what, this review does seem valid to us, we will reinstate it. So that's why you see review numbers change. Things come in and out of the filter on a daily basis. So I would say to the comment of saying, it's a terrible algorithm, we have 160 million people a month that use the website and make buying decisions based off of it. The users, the consumers trust the website. Generally speaking, if you go to a 4-star restaurant in San Diego, probably going to have a 4-star experience. Yeah, every time. It's a pretty safe. In a turn economy in 2008, we were going hard up and to the right because people were really careful about where they spent their money, and they really wanted to use crowdsourced consumer reviews to make that decision. So while it's not perfect, we're constantly working on it to make it great. The same algorithm that decided which reviews are going to be shown on your page is the same algorithm that decided which reviews aren't going to be shown. So
yeah, that's a really good answer, and I think that part of the issue for me was, and that maybe should be considered, is that we reach out to clients and say, hey, will you send us a review today.
Yeah.
So then 20 people send us a review today,
Yeah.
and then it's
So
like,
you're
well,
trying to
we
do
don't
my
count
job. Yeah.
because
So,
you all did it at one time.
yeah. So it's my job to make Yelpers, to turn people into active users on our site. You know, the one-off review, the food was good, 5 stars. Personally, as a consumer, I don't find that to be useful. You know, the food was terrible. I hated it. 1 star. Again, what'd you eat, guy? Like, I have no idea. So we are really focused on that community and building strength. And a lot of time, you guys will start to pull your data and send out an email blast to try to turn all these people into Yelp users who are not organically Yelp users. We're building an organic Yelp community. It's a huge waste of your time. Just let them do customer service, do what you do best. The people that use Yelp will find you. And I think a lot of times, you know, restaurants have a ton of reviews. They're getting 20 reviews a day. Phil's Barbecue, one of the top 10 most viewed businesses in the country. Nobody's gonna be Phil's, especially with a one-off B2B business. They're gonna be maybe in your industry a couple dozen reviews a year at the time. So just try to be realistic within your category, I think, on how many reviews you're getting, and realize too that just letting people know that you're on Yelp, that little Yelp burst, that icon is extremely recognizable to people that use the site, like the Facebook or Pinterest P and what have you. So those of us who are Yelpers are going to Yelp businesses that are on there. Yes.
Can I put a video on Yelp?
You can, as a user.
One that I have on my website.
So a professional one?
It's professionally done, it's complete.
So no. A user can take a video, much like the Instagram app now, where you can do like a 12-second video and post it to your website. That's live, just so you know. So if you're in the club, drop it like it's hot, 12-second video, upload, no problem. A professional owner, that's actually part of the advertising packages that we sell. I think it's like $400, and we send I'm not on the advertising side, so I don't know. So your own produced video, no. Do I think it's going to go that way down the road? A personal opinion? Probably, yeah. I mean, pictures and stuff is so amazing, but it's currently not an option.
So the 3 of us got on a call on Friday, and we probably talked for about an hour. I think one of the longest conversations that we had was actually about social media gone wrong. Mm-hmm. Some train wrecks that we had found online. There were a couple that were brought up. I think Chris, you brought up a couple, and there's kind of the hospitality responses that you were talking about, that you had seen that were sharing KP. Trish, we actually talked about multiple reviews coming up from the same IP address. Also, less very much in your background, we did talk about these Yelp reviews and the algorithm. Multiple IP addresses coming.
Yeah, one of the things that, as we were talking to Trish about Yelp, was that we had gotten contacted by a doctor in Los Angeles. It says, hey, we're looking for some help with social media. I'm like, okay, so what are your goals? He says, well, we have a practice, and we have we do the weight loss, one of the weight loss bands, and we need to get some things off of page 1 and 2 of Google. So can you push it out to page 6, right, where people start not seeing it so much? And I'm like, well, we'll take a look at it, and and it turns out that one of the doctors at this practice was on the bad side of a lawsuit for a wrongful death. Because of malpractice. They'd had his license revoked, and they were stacking Yelp reviews off of a computer in their office. So as I questioned him, I'm like, so what's up with all this, block, 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 block? Oh, well, we had a computer in our office, and with a straight face, the guy tells me, we tried to make it easier for customers, our clients, to be able to write reviews for us while they were here.
Right.
So that was
Just shut it down.
so on the other end of it.
I was like, no.
This is how some businesses are trying to figure out, how do you compensate for business support. Yelp Score, they go to an agency who is strong in social media, and they say, can you fix this?
Yeah. After it's a problem that they made for themselves, mm-hmm. right? So they basically computer in front, and I don't know if they were offering an incentive for these reviews or what they were doing on the back end, but basically they were trying to game the system, as we like to call it. Our recommendation software caught it, and now they want this company to get all their good reviews back on their page that may or may not be authentic. I just, as a consumer, it kind of angers me, because I don't want to be misled. I'm trying to spend my good hard-earned money in these places, and we did a lot of research. We did a case study to see what makes good Yelp reviews, or how to get more Yelp reviews, because that's the #1 question I get asked is, how do I get more reviews on my page? And of course, when they say that, they mean 5-star reviews. They don't just want more reviews. Or how do I make my Yelp rating better? We've always said provide good customer service and a quality product with a smile on your face, have a commitment to excellence at your business, and those 5-star reviews will follow. We've said that for years, and we've studied to back it up. In the reviews where good customer service is mentioned, they're 5 times more likely to be 5-star reviews. I mean, you can go to a fine dining restaurant, have, maybe your steak was a little bit overcooked, the ambiance was great, you really enjoyed your dessert, but the service was fantastic, 5 stars. You can have excellent steak, perfect dessert, gorgeous ambiance, but your server was terrible, 1 star. You paid the same amount.
That's kind of common across other social media platforms as well.
Yeah, it's very common. And so really what we always suggest to consumers is, don't try to make Yelp for us. We do a really good job at that. We're, like I said, 29 countries, we're 10 years old, it's huge. But just do what you do best, and your customer service, when they feel the need to organically, intrinsically talk about your business on Yelp, it'll be great for you.
What are some great examples that Kevin or Chris, you guys might be able to share with us, and of course Trish, about social media done right? What are some great examples of the way that you've seen social media or businesses engage really well with their customer base?
Well, I'll say one of the gimmies is that ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Everybody's seen it. There's people, God bless them, they're still making videos. And they made some kind of Jesus money, right, out of the whole thing. So I think that's probably a very extreme example of it going well, and nothing that you should ever expect that you're going to be able to equal. And I say so not to be discouraging, but it's some realistic benchmarks, right? A lot of times we hear all these great stories of, wow, social media is this, and it works so well, and it only costs us this much money. You have a better chance of hitting the lottery than this happening for your business, right? And I'm in the business of making you successful for this, and I'm telling you, you set realistic goals when you go into this, because it's fun to talk about, the Immaculate Conception and all the other wonderful anomalies in sports and social media and everything else. But it is a strong exception to the rule, and I wouldn't want you to skew your benchmarks of and expectations of your own business's social media by these very extreme examples, right? It's kind of like we see on the news, shark attack in Australia. What the hell is it? There's no relevance to shark, that shark attack here in San Diego. You're going to hear about this other social media that was awesome that has nothing to do with your business. Just keep it in perspective.
Here's a good. Sorry.
I was going to say, what are some of those checklists, or what are some goals that are reasonable for a small business owner? How many people are small business owners here in the audience? There you go. That's relative. What are some of those goals that are realistic so that you can make sure you're managing your own expectations well?
But I think you have to. It starts with setting realistic goals that you can achieve. To go out and say, we want 10,000 fans. That's depending on the business, you've got to be a pretty popular business to go out and get 10,000 fans, particularly with, we want to talk Facebook, Facebook's different than Twitter, different than LinkedIn, but I'll generalize saying with Facebook, right? Because most businesses are trying to get a fan page and they build off of Facebook. If you get 1,000 fans a month, you're doing pretty good, right? You're doing something right. And for those of you who don't know, Facebook changed the game at the beginning of the year, right? So it used to be what they called earned media. Right, so TV, radio, outdoor print, that's paid media. You give somebody money and they give you space because they have an audience that's going to look at this communications vehicle. Social media was hot and popular because it was perceived as free, even though it took you hours and months to do it, but you didn't have to pay anybody. So it was called earned media, and you could go out and be wonderful and share funny quotes and pictures from the club. And what your business did, and people would say, hey, that's pretty cool, I'll like that, I'll buy in it. And it was an opt-in marketing channel. We had one of our clients, we got to 200,000 styling online. They're a pop culture apparel company. And it was awesome. And so between social media, content marketing, and some Facebook ads, we put $6 grand in Facebook ads in addition to everything else he invested in. We got 215,000 fans. And every time that we posted something, the potential that 215,000 people were going to see that message. So it was a good ROI, right? You figure maybe you have 20K in, but over the term, and it was the 3rd largest traffic source to his online store. It sounded like a good deal, right? So then Facebook changes the game. Now you'd be lucky to get like direct mail stats. I mean, if you get 3 to 5% of the audience that you already have on reach, right? Say thank you and move on to the next post.
They call it edge rank, and until they changed everything on iPhone, at least they downloaded a new app today, and 6 Degrees just started. 6 Degrees. I work there. I'm engaged. I like everything. I share things. I repost things. It just started appearing in my feed today.
Yeah.
Remarkable. Absolutely.
So the analogy I use real quick is if you don't want to stand, if you're trying to get into the club, you can either stand in line, right, or you can tip the guy at the door. Right, and it's all about tipping the guy at the door now. If you're in business, do not expect that you're going to get the reach that you used to without paying some money.
Yeah.
John Ippolito, and then we'll go over to Mia.
Yeah, I just there's a lot of noise out there, you know, and I think that's changed, especially in the last maybe 4 years. Well, it's just that everyone has an opinion. Everyone has this need to push out their ideas, and for somebody whose job it is to identify, isolate, and target people that see your message, how do you filter the noise? From your end, from the consumer's end, it can be very overwhelming.
Yeah,
where I'm almost like, God, I don't even want to look this up because I know that there's too much there. And I think that that's a problem with easier access, cheaper ability of getting technology. And so the question is, again, the factor of noise and more accessibility. What are maybe some of your
Chris should take that.
Yeah, you're especially for the small businesses. I can speak to with firsthand experience. It's a lot of noise out there on the internet, and for me, like content, posting quality content, and posting things that's not always promotional or related to your business, giving value to the end user. People know you're branded. We're social creatures. There's another human on the other end of that keyboard, and if I'm always buy this, he's going to tune me out. But if I post a piece of content that's funny, inspirational, different, I get his attention for a second. When you're out with all this noise coming at you, and you're like, that brand I like, Target or US or whoever, they posted a funny video that had nothing to do with what they're trying to sell me. That for me is something that has worked well in the restaurant stuff, is sharing content that's not related to our promotion.
Chris sends me a different, I know Chris personally sends me a different text message of a different video that he found on YouTube. That's why I'm smiling.
Obviously, make sure it's appropriate and on brand to a certain extent. I don't need to tell you to stay away from religion and politics, but people
Chris
like to
travels
laugh.
all over those things in personal text messages.
And oversaturation is something to note as well. How often you're posting, like, are you annoying? Is your business obnoxious? Because I will unlike you so fast. Like, it's true. You know, that's why people like Pinterest. That's why people like things like Yelp, where they can literally, like, Yelp has tons of filters you can set up on your phone to determine which businesses you find and search. You can actually pinpoint exactly what you want and X out full categories of business and parts of geographic areas and so on and so forth. So the world is, you know, I want what I want one time, not a million times a day.
Yeah. I'm back.
Kind of have an interesting question for you. I'm a PR agency, and I always advise my clients to handle the social media in-house because of reaction time and losing that authenticity. If you farm it out to somebody else who doesn't know your business as well as you do, it's not close to everyday happenings. Why should somebody use an agency?
I'll give you a couple of the reasons that we tell clients when they're proposing the same thing. We'll get a new relationship, like, oh, well, we have somebody that can handle in-house. Really, tell me of this person. Well, what's you know, so-and-so's secretary. I said, so-and-so, yeah, well, she knows everything that's going on, and so on, right? So, you know, I meet so-and-so's secretary, you know, and she's 22, and yeah, and she's just all thumbs on the machine, and she just have at it, right? And she does know what's going on, right? But having the technical ability to use a social networking site is not equal to the wisdom to know when and how to use it. So I think that there's two ends of the gap, right? You have a senior person that knows how to handle a customer situation, right? Like we had a guy, Dr. Wayne Anderson is one of our clients. He's a New York Times bestselling author, speaker, and he got he's in the health and wellness, right? So he got a message about somebody wanting to know if he could help them sell their kidney, right? So what do you do with that, right? So, you know, so it's funny, right? Somebody's trying to sell a kidney to my guy on Facebook, right? Or at least be the facilitator of this organ donor. But there's ramifications too. My guy's he's a legit doctor, right? So now I have, it's not just, I can't just ignore. Do you just ignore it? Or do you like, hey, is this a call for help? If there's something else or what, right? But somebody that's 22 isn't gonna know. They're gonna probably overlook it. There's judgment calls is what I'm trying to say to it.
They don't know your customer service policy in and out the way that you could explain to a firm that's handling it. Like, this is our online customer service policy. We check Yelp twice a week. We respond to reviews within 48 hours. This is what we state in our public message. This is our template for private messaging. Like, this person may or may not know or have the innate ability to go off script when they need to, certain situations like that. So, I see all over the board, you can definitely tell when you're looking at business owner responses to their review, when it's the business owner and themselves or some PR trained person who's going to deal with it in a, the emotion is taken out of it a little bit. Like, you see those hot business owners that are just like angry, like giant rant, versus their PR firm who has finesse the situation. And a cool social media win, I guess, on the Yelp side of things is people have the ability to change their star rating. You can update your review at any time. So if you have, a 3-star review, if things weren't great and you reached out to that customer, you fixed it with whatever your policy was, that person can go in, update their review to whatever higher star level they want and say, this was handled in a professional and complete manner. And sometimes it's really hard as a small business owner to step away from the emotion and the money and small business. So I think it's a great thing having someone else handle it.
Let me suggest this.
What about a mid-sized company that already has a seasoned player on their team managing social media? What other value? Those are the types of businesses that I work with, mid to large size companies.
Right, so I'll give you one on the other side. So MetaFast is one of our clients. Large company, they've got a cast of many and a couple people that pay attention to their social media. One is younger, one is older, but their expertise is in the products and services the company delivers. And there's still some, they don't have the ability to do content development. So even some of the simple things of, what's the right size of a graphic to put on Facebook versus Instagram versus LinkedIn, right? There's some different media requirements. So content marketing as a whole is a lot of people have heard it's an important part, right? What's the right type of content? Using links from that people find that says, hey, this is a great article. I can share this myself. Well, there's best practices in presenting that link, right? So that the featured image shows up. Did you know you can overwrite what the title is of the link? After you add the link and it auto pops on the bottom, you can overwrite the title. You can overwrite the description, right? You can upload a new thumbnail now.
Where the link goes.
With the link goes, there's a lot of options, and most of the corporate types aren't involved enough in social media to know those nuances, right? Guy can throw up a link, guy can share a picture. Anything past that, and then you get into like hashtags and trying to link different pages and all those other types of things that really improves the efficacy of the communication that you're having. You really you start getting a drop off, especially as you skew older.
There was a question in the back, I think. Yeah, Ken.
Kevin, I'm curious about, you talked before about kind of expectations that are clear and that are realistic. So how do you talk to a client that has 15,000 new likes and talking about how do you convert that to actual revenue? Likes
and
but it's not going to pay the bills.
Yeah, and we had that conversation with that exact client because we got Facebook to be his third largest traffic source. There was Google, and then the direct URL, because my guy sells T-shirts, right? Spider-Man. So you're putting that like Spider-Man T-shirt, right? And my guy's coming up at the top, right? So Google's always going to be big for him. Direct URL was second. Facebook was third. So the case that I made was, hey, we're your third largest traffic source. I think you're a good investment. He says, yes, I'm getting traffic, but they're not converting. And when we thought through it, we thought the constant exposure to the new merchandise would be a reason that somebody would go and do purchase. But quite honestly, like how many T-shirts do you buy in a year? Like even if you're like Comic-Con, like I'm a big Comic-Con fan, right? And I buy some T-shirts. But what do you do, like one a month? Right? So there's a capacity that even like your most avid consumers are only going to hit in. And it just turned out that everybody loved the brand, but they only buy so much. And a lot of them only bought in their niche, right? You're not getting like Batman isn't buying Superman T-shirts, right? And it's very, very segmented, and they're very loyal to those segments. There's a lot of crossover types of things. I mean, you get a Walking Dead person that'll buy some general zombie stuff, but that's about as much as it goes.
Thank you. I want to shift the conversation to the different types of social media networks that are out there and correlating and relating to a specific audience. In particular, demographic. You've got the young people. There were millennials now, and there are software. I've been doing a lot of research, obviously, getting ready to come up here. There were social networks that I never even heard of that I didn't ask anybody in this audience because I know there wouldn't be very many hands. Are there different pieces of software, obviously, aside from Yelp, to attack a different demographic? Obviously, Chris, you're very focused on 18 and over, 21 and over, but are there different demographics or different packages? Maybe we can end with Kevin, or anything that you know of that you're focused on, different demographics for different pieces of software that are out there.
Well, for us, I mean, it's constantly changing, and Facebook, at least for our consumers, our demographics, is starting to fall by the wayside, and we're more now Instagram and Vine and Snapchat, which is the new one. We're trying to figure out how we monetize that with our consumers. And now Ello is coming. Has anyone heard of Ello? Are you on there?
On it, yeah. It's still not very usable. Like, the functionality is really low. It's definitely not going to be a replacement for Facebook anytime soon.
Really?
They're trying to pull a Google Plus, but they didn't advertise it that way. And it's just a really small startup. Now they've just got this massive influx. The way they did their smart. It just was a social blaze. I saw it once. The next day I saw it 15 times, and I said, okay, well, give me an invite. And I just shot out all 20 of mine. Got on it and said, well, there's nothing I can do with this yet. It's really pretty.
There's nothing there.
It's really pretty, kind of a simplistic layout, but there's nothing you can do.
They're selling
with it.
exclusivity.
You can't even block people from following you yet.
Really?
So I would give that some time before moving any considerable assets over to that, but it might be a thing. We'll see.
This speaks to a point where, you know, like the younger crowd, the 20s and the 30-somethings, they don't like to be sold to. Like the day of the billboard, the print ad, it's gone. And I don't think Facebook is going to go away by any means. But we just the way they started out with this New Year's, I've heard so many people, the reason why LO got so much traction is because we went off. We went off the Facebook mail. You know, if there was another option, a lot of people would take it, but the data's not there. So it's like we're stuck there. It's like you're in your mom's basement, like you're not interested.
Your friends aren't there.
Your friends aren't there. I mean, my mom's friends comment more on stuff that I post than my friends do because we are using our Instagrams, we're using our Snapchats, where, you know, I can get a hold of my group of friends. You know, with my phone, I have different groups of these different groups individually. You know, has anyone ever been on one of those massive text messages with like 100 people and you hate it so much? Unfollow. That's the same thing. I mean, just from speaking from like, our demographic is like, our biggest demographic is 18 to 54. It accounts for almost 75% of our users. So we're in that, you know, 20s to 30 something range is the biggest chunk of our business. They want to look at what they want to look at. They want as many searchable options to get exactly what they want. They don't want to be blasted with information.
KP?
All right, so yeah, so nobody likes being sold, but everybody loves to buy stuff, don't we?
We do.
Okay, so therein lies your challenge, right? So you don't want to sell, but you definitely want to make sure that you make your products and services available to the people who want it.
That they can find you when they want to.
Right, yeah, when they want to, right? It's all about, it's very customer centric. You know, the whole funnel has kind of inversed, and I want you to think of social media like media. Don't think of it as this big unique. It's not a big unique thing, right? As soon as it went to pay for play, it became media. It's like buying TV, radio, outdoor, and print, right? If you're going to buy TV and you're trying to get women 24 to 34, where are you going to go? Lifestyle.
Pinterest.
Right. It's exactly the same type of thing. You start thinking in the channel. Right, it's just like, yeah, I'm trying to get to Pinterest, right? If you're trying to get men 55 to 55,
Comedy Central, Golf, Air,
ESPN, CNN, right? LinkedIn, right? I'm all over LinkedIn, right? Depending on the niche, you may go to Quora, but you know, it'd be really kind of a niche thing. But LinkedIn, so it's today. I think we can make the same generalizations on social media as we do with every other type of media. Yep.
For a B2B organization, how often would you say is an appropriate amount of times per day, per week, or whatever, to be posting to like the general social media channels, like let's say Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn? Is it once a day per channel, or Facebook is 5 times, you know, a day?
I'm happy to give my opinion. I know KP has an opinion. You guys go first.
I think each one sort of has a different culture. Facebook and Twitter, I think in Twitter you can share a lot more frequently and you won't lose followers, whereas Facebook, you've ever seen those overshares and you're like, I can't follow this business anymore. So being aware of the subtle cultural differences in the, I call them tribes, the Vine tribe, Facebook tribe.
And not blanketing all your channels with the same information. So if you're going to post to Twitter, Facebook, and Vine today, please don't make it the exact same post, because I might be a big fan of you and follow you on all 3 channels. And that to me is like a triple post in one day. Like I want new content, like you said, for the tribes. Like I want a video, then I want what's doing now on Twitter. Like here's a picture of what the chef is making right at this moment. And then I want a Facebook post about the weekend menu. I don't want the same thing 3 times.
You might be able to put up 3 Twitter posts an hour.
Yeah.
As opposed to maybe you can do 3 a day on Facebook. If you
That's
really
pushing.
have, and even that is really pushing it. Yes, you in the front.
Yeah.
So big.
All right. So there are some lessons we've learned in the past with other types of media that I think we can apply to the future now with digital. And there is a statistic that says for every 3 messages that you share, that your prospect, your customer will see 1. There's another advertising lore statistic that says you have to be able to impact, you have to touch your client, the prospect 9 times before they're going to click, call, stop, and do whatever you want. So 3 times 9 is 27 impressions. Where are your 27 impressions coming from to move your market, right? The second thing is think about what we learned from radio, right? They're not running 1 spot a day on radio because they don't want to piss somebody off. You're doing 4 a day. You buy 20 for the week, right? You're running 4 a day. Because why? Because people listen at different times. I think it's the same type with social media. I agree that a super fan who is following you on every channel is going to be like, I'm seeing you everywhere, right? But that's your super fan. That's your 1 to 3% of your total market, right? And you know how the streams work, right? You only go, right, when you yourselves go and hit any of your streams, right? You only scroll so far down, and then you're done.
It's different with radio though. So I'll contest that a little bit. Right? Because I'm listening to radio for the content and I'm tuning out the advertising. Most of us are, unless you're in advertising or marketing, you're listening to that stuff because you need to. On a stream, I could actually just unlike you and then I never hear that ad ever again. So you want to be careful and cautious as to how much you're putting in certain of these streams.
Yeah, you're going to get attrition anyway. Right? You're picking people up, you lose down, you see your likes and your downs. As long as you're getting way more than you're losing, you're doing something right.
As long as it's original, interesting content, I think, too.
Mr. Macri.
So obviously there are so many different types of businesses. We talk small business and large business, hospitality and very general. For companies like a law firm or a CPA firm or something on the more professional services side of things, as opposed to a nightclub, obviously strategies should be very different. So I guess what are some, if it's case studies or something that we know to, I know to post a picture or some content here, but are there some strategies there that we might not, the general public might not be aware of that would be, more easily integrated into these types of kind of siloed off kind of industries that you would recommend for some of your clients? I think that would make a big difference as far as, I said generalization, but are there other kind of different strategies there that are more impactful than others?
I'll tell you the gimme is we hardly do a post without a visual of some sort. It just gets more attention in a stream, right? You get a bunch of text, and people scan, they don't look, right? Or they don't read. So I need something that, just like advertising taught us, we need stopping power, right? I'm doing the thing, what's going to stop me and catch my eye, right? So I'd say, I always include a visual of some sort.
I would layer on top of that to watch your statistics. It's not something that you and I look at on a regular basis, watching those numbers and seeing what trends, know the analytics. It's different from the days where you're just buying advertising and I got a billboard up and I got 40,000 cars that drive past it every day. How many of them are looking at it? I don't know. Today, you actually know. All of these programs, Yelp, no doubt, has the same. You have analytical tools behind. Emily and I are looking inside. We use a buffer account so that we can link everybody together and get the same messaging out across the board. Me as kind of echoes to having the control and the same messaging across the entire brand. We also look at those analytics on a weekly basis. What was successful last week? How many posts do we have to make? What was good? What didn't work? What had pictures? What was a link? What was the topic? You got to put time and attention towards the social media, just like Kevin was saying before, to really orchestrate it and understand what you're putting out there.
I'll share another quick stat too on video. That people share video. How many people share videos? They upload to YouTube and they share the link on Facebook. How many people direct upload to Facebook? You get statistically, you get better engagement with a direct upload to Facebook than you do by sharing the YouTube link. Little known fact.
I would agree with the photo thing. We actually changed our entire user interface to be more photo heavy about 7 months ago or so. So Yelp looks a lot different on the desktop and on mobile than it used to in the past. The photos are at the forefront just because people are spending just seconds, and we found that they spent, I think it's like 3 or 4 times more time on listings with a plethora of pictures, which can be user added, or again, with your biz owner account, you can add all your professional shots as well. And for small category businesses, like lawyers and doctors and things that don't have a ton of review content, as many images and taking advantage of the ability to put all that text and information about your business is vital. You know, you can look at the back end and see how much traffic you're getting. You might not get a ton of reviews, but you're going to get people stopping and staying on the page much longer with pictures, for sure.
There's a question back.
Question over there?
Yeah, I did have a question. How do you recommend anything to share videos over Facebook, like any app, a Facebook app?
No, you know what, we found out we've used a number of different tools, and you know, nothing has been as good as going native, just going directly into the platform itself. Because like nobody has taken all of the, like we were using Sprout Social for a while, which was great, particularly for the reporting end of it. But when you're sharing things out, you can just do some things in Twitter that you can't do in Facebook, and it was a compromise. Right, and so we're going back to native. I mean, we're ditching all the tools.
Even with Buffer, we noticed slightly lower. For us, it's a value add because we get to hit so many different markets with so many different accounts with the same messaging. But we've noticed slightly lower engagement and slightly lower numbers. But again, it's hit or miss anyhow. Wayne.
Yeah, if you're developing a social media strategy, business to business, business to consumer, what are your top 3 questions?
Who are you going after? What do you want them to do? How much money do you have?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, you know,
know your audience, know who you're selling to.
Yeah, and let me just expand just a little bit. It's all about who you're going after, and it's all what are you trying to get them to do, and then the money goes to how much time do we have to invest in achieving that goal? What kind of content development can we do? What kind of outreach and engagement? What kind of advertising? You know, you could take the long way and do all this organically, and you're like, oh, we got 3 likes this week, and we got 27 for the month. Or you can just go take $1,000 and target your people and just get 1,500, 2,000, 2,500 fans and be over with it, right? Because what you're going to spend in the long time is going to be shorter if you just bite the bullet. Go buy the targeted audience that you want, you know, the demographic, the psychographic, you know, the geographic locations, and just have your damn audience, because you're going to do this 6-month program. So you can either, like, you know, play to an audience, you know, John's and Brandon in the back, 2 of our my favorite DJs, right? So you can either play with like 3, 5 people and hope somebody shows up by 11 o'clock and you're still spinning the shit out of that stuff, or you can just say, I'm gonna start with a packed house, and then I'm gonna deliver my great program, and then you're gonna get a better ROI out of all the work that you put into it.
Very more.
The social media, and we're going to wrap up here in the next couple minutes, but social media provides our business with a certain level of transparency and intimacy, if you will. Maybe a couple comments from each of you about how that's changed in your industry, or how your application has really changed that dialogue.
It's huge on Yelp, really fast. While every single user puts their forward-facing photo up and their real name, and they're not totally transparent, we as a company are trying to build that as a community. Part of my job as the community manager dealing with the Yelpers is encouraging them to be transparent and open with their content and open to business owner comments back to them, and so on and so forth. Like, gone are the days of, you know, hotgirl12@gmail.com. Like, we're on LinkedIn. You can get in touch with me tomorrow. You can get in touch with me in 5 minutes. You know, it's much more transparent than 10 years ago. And I think that a lot of business owners who've had businesses that are 10 years or older need to really get on the bandwagon of that, talking to your customers again, having an intimate relationship with your clientele, opening a dialogue, not being afraid of those user reviews or that online content or those Facebook posts. Like, start a conversation, and that's what people want nowadays. We see that on ours all the time.
Yeah, I think understanding that, you know, your brand is it's a living thing. They know there's other humans on the other end of that keyboard. Like I said, and a good example is, I think it was Maker's Mark recently tried to change the proof of their alcohol so they could get more production and save a little money. It was only a couple %, and the public backlash was huge. It exploded on Twitter. One of their competitors had done the same thing about 10 years prior to the social media revolution, and got away with it and probably saved millions. Whereas, you know, Maker's Mark had to waste tens of millions saying, okay, we won't do that. We won't change our brand because they had that direct line of communication with their consumer and they could tell them, we don't like this. So,
I think one of the biggest mistakes I see people in social media make is that they forget that it's still people trying to connect with people. You just happen to be using content and technology in between it. So when you're trying to make decisions on what my business should do, you already know how to be a good business and to communicate with your prospects and your customers and to share the stories of what you do. So don't get all weird about, I've got to put it in a picture or I've got to make a video or something. I think authenticity comes across positively for any brand. I think as long as you're being authentic and you're putting your best foot forward, I think people tend to really respond back to that. And I think that's an opportunity for a big differentiator because you have so many people that are trying so hard to be fake and that they're always on and it's always about the brand. It's still just people trying to communicate with other people.
Mm-hmm. Round of applause. For those of you that don't know 6 Degrees, this is what we do 40 times a year. Breakfast panels, we do evening mixers, we have 2 Degrees groups. John Ippolito here leads our relationship building groups. I myself are the forerunner for peer-to-peer advisory groups that we offer as well. Next Wednesday night on the 22nd down at Cafe 21 from 4 to 7 p.m. we have our mixer. We have our Cigar and Spirits Society on the Andaz rooftop on November 6th. On November 13th is our next breakfast series, Leader in Women in Leadership. And of course, we have our holiday party coming up to round out at Team Fish. And that's, of course, to benefit Boys and Girls Club as well. We're going to raffle off a couple tickets. We're also partnering with Mark Lovett and TEDx San Diego. Has anybody watched TEDx? Has anybody been to a TEDx? I was just at TEDx, America's Finest City, and I got to tell you, it was awesome. We partnered to help them do some promotions. We have discounted tickets. Today we're going to raffle off 2 tickets. All right, let's start with 2 tickets. Okay, how are we doing that?
Pick a number.
Pick a number.
And that'll correlate to
Pick a number, any number. 32. I like 30. 32.
Is Catherine Morrison.
Catherine Morrison. Two tickets to our mixer, and then we'll do 2 tickets to our holiday party as well. I like 47. Anybody else? 47 is good.
All right, Ken Schmidt.
Ken Schmidt. Check that out. I've never seen this. Something in the teens? Feeling low teens, high teens? 13. Unlucky. Not today. Valent. It is. So TEDx, just a couple things about it. It goes from 11 o'clock. They have Innovation Alley closing down B Street in front of the Symphony Towers here. Downtown, it goes from 1 o'clock to 6 p.m. And you're going to have 15 speakers and performers throughout the day. So if you're interested in coming, we're going to have a whole crew there. It's going to be really exciting.
Going to be a soft plug from the book. If you're interested in the forthcoming book on social media, satellitemarketing.com, how to use social media to build engagement. Follow me at Satellite Marketing.
Did I forget anything? Ted? Oh, sorry, Mark.
We have partnered with 6 Degrees, and I have some flyers here with a promo code that'll give you a discount on tickets. So just come see me, grab one of those. It's going to be an awesome day.
Yes, it is. Cool. How many people are you expecting? How many people?
Can I take a picture of it? And of course, our panelists.
Thank you very much.
All right, team picture.
Team.
Do you have anybody on the Google chat? Put your fingers down. Blocking the flash.
Roger. One of those.
Thank you. There you go. I'm sure something will be wonderful and all of that. Thank you.
Can I add a question for any of you?
Or for any of you. You guys use
Can I grab a card from you, Trish?
I just joined it.
Shoot me any questions you have, Roger.
Well, what I'm looking to do is what it is.
help my clients market better. So I like to do webinars and stuff.
Yes, I just had a really great conversation. Questions, so I have a lot of data. I have lots of everything. Yeah, and we do, Yelp does webinars on how to use Site Letter. You can sign up for it. Yeah, I'll send you all the
You know what, the
Yeah, right. So that's what
How's the new club?
Well, you're into something new that I haven't tried, but I thought that was Facebook.
Nice to see you, Bob. Hi, how are you?
Thanks, man. Take care.
Nice to meet you. Great there. I just actually moved here from Massachusetts. Welcome. Welcome to the West Coast.
Let's see.
What do you do here?
We do, oh yeah. I can print my own. We designed the logo. Oh, nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you in?
Yeah, right downtown.
Oh, did you flew in? No, I work remotely here, so I have a home office, but our lucky for me. I love you so bad. This is really good this week, so that's good.
Talk about big.yelp.
I really like it that way. You've had a lot of success with people.
Tell me about it.
Like other people showing their
I tell you, because
but the business side of that is really cool because a lot of business owners, they'll have fun about like, I can't come to viewers. I'm like, no, you can't. So you can completely access all of it, and they just don't know. Even though on the very top of the website we say, you want to go to Yelp for business owners, right there on the desktop. I mean, what, 20 people? I never had no idea we had two websites. Yeah. And I'll give you my card if you have any questions about it, or the website is really intuitive. If you just go to visityelp.com, it like prompts you. It's like 1 + 1 = 2. It's really basic, but yeah. You're like, well, welcome to the neighborhood.
I love it. That David versus Goliath stuff is always
Yeah, and I just talked about the brigades last night with meeting a lot of new faces.
Yeah, that's Diego. Get out. And it's the biggest little city ever, so you'll like everybody.
So I only have one business card left.
Just email me. I give you my cards, just email me. Yeah.
We're in Del Mar? Yeah. They just go together, right? Del Mar, it makes sense. I was born in Pittsburgh. And I started the agency, and then I started surfing out here 15 years ago, and I finally opened up another. I'll follow up. You
Guys, I enjoyed it. Do you have any questions for me before I leave? Yeah, what can I help you with?
I'll call you later.
Do you have my email?
I saw that.
What do I need?
Yeah, you got to go meet up with Matt. Find Matt and Craig.
Okay, great.
Yeah, feel free to email.
Definitely let's follow up.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you. Nice to meet you. Do you like some cards? So that'll be the reminder of what he wants to invest in. You're like, he got a computer on his head, and he had a really cool car. Everybody, yeah, they're we got the price down to I think $1 a piece, and right, and it was and then we did 4-color on the back. They were $1.85 a piece, and somebody said, "Why in God's name would you spend $1.85 on a card?" I said, "Because when I introduce myself to a CEO and tell them that I can make a difference in the company because I'm creative and I know how to communicate, I can't pull out a shitty card, right? And that's it. So it's worth the investment. It's all about fun. They are right. Well, that way you can't hurt yourself, and you have a very colorful life. So you got good branding. Now what are you gonna do with your good branding? I got it warmed up for you, right?
Well, she's agreed with me on spending money on engineering.
It's about net spending. My dad was a professor of marketing who taught us never use the word spend. It's an invest because you expect to get something back for it. See, I know.
And that's what it all comes down to, is getting something back for it.
Yeah,
and
we
I
got
think that we will. So,
Yeah, I mean,
you got it warmed up for you. The rest is on you, Wayne.
Thanks, man.
It was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
We have an idea.
You have an idea? What's your idea? You want to tell me?
Sure. Why not? First of all, this is.
Hi, Kevin Popovic. Pleasure.
I'm a boomer. I need a millennium on my staff.
Doesn't everybody?
I'm in Carlsbad Village. I've been here 25, almost 30 years. I've been mortgage company. So that's what I do for a living. Like you, I surf and I live on the beach. But I'm a videographer. I like doing video. I have camera in my hand my whole life. So I'm trying to use videos. Produce videos and I send them on Facebook. I use BombBomb because they optimize it. They act like constant contact, and then I get the analytics like that. But they're not.
What's the average length of your video?
I try and keep it under 2 minutes. So I've evolved in this long path. I did Guy in the Street in the Village.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come down and see the pizza guy. This is Guy in the Street. Keep mortgage, you know. And then I started doing virtual tours with these sexy girls, these beautiful homes. And I realized, let me give you a hug. It's good to see you. Take care. So here's what I want to do. I'm trying to attract people that want to buy a home or ultimately need a mortgage.
Right.
That's what I'm reaching out to. And if you go on your keyboard and you type in Delmar Heights to use the neighborhood, you'll get Trulia and Redfin,
Tony
Zillow,